Hey everyone, how's it going? This is the Bald Metal Nerd coming at you with another vid. In this one, I thought I would talk about how even good news can stress a person out, right? So, what's the good news that I'm referring to? The good news that I'm referring to is today. Today's the 20th. So last Friday, which was the 16th of uh, April, I got a job offer. Um, and there are many reasons to, choose this job over my current job, right? It was a very considerable pay bump, which I'll get to how much here in a bit. Um, it's definitely more in line with what I want to do with my career. There's a lot of growth, a lot more growth opportunity where I'm going than where I am. And the best part, cherry on top, it's hourly and there's no on call. So it's kind of a no brainer, right? So the only reason this caused me any stress at all is because of the fact that there are a lot of things that I do like about my current role. Um, Probably my favorite thing about my current role is the whole time I've had it since last July, I've worked from home, right? Absolutely incredible, right? I haven't commuted to an office in a little more than a year, and I'm going to be starting commuting to an office come May 3rd again. That's my first day there, so I'll be commuting basically every day. They said I'll be able to work from home, um, basically if needed, if I'm like sick or if the weather's real bad or something, but it won't be a very common thing that I get to do. So there's that. That's a downside. Also, I really like the people I work with, right? Quite a bit. So, you know, it wasn't just a really easy thing for me to, kind of decide to hit the bricks, right? So the first thing that caused me stress wasn't really the thought of quitting my current job. The first thing that caused me stress, of course, was the whole negotiation game, right? Which I hate, right? So, anyway, I'll tell you a little bit about that. This past Friday, I had the interview, and then by 4 o'clock, they had sent me an offer, right? My initial offer, and I was like, "Cool," Um, so then, of course, I basically had all weekend to more or less think about the offer, and then, of course, try to craft a good, counter offer, right? Asking for more money because that's what one always does if one has any common sense at all. So, I'm like hemming, all weekend. I'm basically having heartburn and stressing out over this shit just because I hate doing it so much. And what's funny is the only reason I even cared because there have been plenty of other times I've negotiated salary and I got nowhere near this stressed out. The reason that I stressed out so much about it is because of how much I wanted this job. Because now I'm gonna, because so far with this company that I'm going to be working at, they have impressed the hell out of me during the recruiting process. And let me explain why. One, the biggest one, is how timely they are with giving me information and getting back to me on stuff. You know, really fast. Basically, I ask a question and very quickly they get back to me with a result. The interviews that I did with them, very pleasant. The people were all really, really nice. Everyone I've dealt with so far has been very positive, and it seems like a really great team to work with. So, I was already like fairly excited about the job even before the offer came. Because I kind of went into it, just like yeah, it seems like it's going to be pretty cool. And I mean, I get there and it's even better, and you know that's probably why I was so nervous because a lot of times, other times, if I don't really care that much, it's not that stressful. So anyway, so they initially offered me 63 grand and 2 weeks of vacation, basically, right? So I countered with, hey, right now I'm getting my current role. Another really thing that I love about my role is they give you 5 weeks of vacation, which is basically unheard of, right? So that's basically what I countered, and I asked for, because when they initially were talking to me, they asked me what my salary range that I was looking for. I said basically I'm looking somewhere between 60,000 and 95,000. I said, granted, that's a really big range, but I know a lot of um, it's going to depend on the position and the company, obviously. So they come in at 63. So I said in response, hey, how close can we get to the middle of that range that we talked about, which would be right around 75,000? You know, that's basically what I asked for. Well, they responded with, we'll give you 3 weeks of vacation. That's the most we can give you, and the absolute maximum we can pay you for the position you're coming in for is 65,000. They said that's the maximum we can start you at. So I accepted because of the fact, like I said, that I did really like everything I saw so far. Also, the fact that my current role, I'm only making $45,000 a year. So this is, from my current role, this is a 45% pay increase. you know, Definitely the biggest pay increase I've ever had, going from one job to another, increasing my salary by 45%. Not bad. It's not now this is not the most I've ever made. The most I ever made was 75,000, and then when I got, after I got that job ended, unfortunately, the job I got after that only paid 45,000, so that was a 40% pay drop. So I've gotten the other way too, right? So, you know, once that was all over, at least that piece of stress was over. But then, of course, a new thing happened, and I had to. Oh, and speaking of how speedy they were, I sent my response to them Monday at like 7 something in the morning, and by 1 o'clock, they had gotten back to me with basically what they could do. And again, the speed was really appreciated, because many other times when I've done this, it usually takes days. They did it in hours, so that's a good sign to me. That they're so efficient. At least when in the recruiting part. I mean, because I've had other roles, and if people are generally a certain way during the recruiting phase, a company, that doesn't really change. I've had the only quote jerks I've worked for are people who during the interview phase I was kind of like, I don't know exactly how that's going to be. I mean, they seem maybe okay. I wasn't like super enthused, but not super turned off either. They kind of turned out to be duds, we'll say. Whereas when I've dealt with people who I really, quote, clicked with during the whole recruiting process like this, I've always been very, very pleased with the people. So I think I'm hoping that trend continues in my new role. So anyway, I did not relish the idea of having to quit my current job, because I really like my teammates and I really like my boss. So it was like, oh, I got to put in my resignation now. Once I had signed the final offer letter and sent it off and submitted myself to be, for my background check for the new job, I had to resign from my current one, which is definitely not my favorite thing to do. So, I did that. And that was pretty much that. And what's funny is the fact that I'm like, reluctant to, quit jobs, because right now over the last 5 years, I've had the rug pulled out from underneath me 4 times, right? I have lost 4 jobs over the last 5 years. That's almost a job a year. Let's see, layoff, contract ending, shit canned, and then another layoff. So 4 times in the last 5 years, I lost jobs, not voluntarily. 2 of the jobs I did leave on my own, and now I'm leaving my 7th job voluntarily as well. So this is going to make for job number 8 between 2016 and 2021. That is a lot of jobs. Ironically, um, my average stint in one of these places probably is slightly under a year, I guess. Um, let's see, 2 jobs I had lasted like 9 or 10 months. I had another job that lasted a year and a half over the last 5. So that was probably definitely the longest one, was the year and a half. I had one job that only lasted 3 months. So I had a few kind of shorter duration ones, but whatever, it is what it is. And I have actually, of course, been asked about that in interviews, unsurprisingly, and basically I kind of explained, kind of what my bad luck has been, and that seems to, kind of calm the waters a bit. So I just think it's funny how one can get stressed out about these things. Even positive change can bring about great stress. But I feel fine now. I was basically having heartburn, really bad heartburn for about 3 days. But here we are, the tail end of Tuesday, and I feel fine. So I don't know, this may not even go up till Wednesday, but whatever. So anyway, that's it for this. I hope you guys liked it. As always, live long and prosper. Keep on rocking. Let me know in the comments below if you had great stress because of positive change in your life as well, and maybe what brought that on. That's it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.